rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you doing today? Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Do we have some fun for you today? It is drawing closer and closer, day by day, inch by inch. Slowly we creep upon, not Halloween, but, well, we're creeping up on that also. But we are definitely creeping up on the, on probably one of the most interesting elections this year has to offer. And it's coming fast. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I hope you guys are ready for the shenanigans that are gonna happen, because they're out in force. Whenever people realize that how poorly they're doing, how bad they're losing, they really change their attitude. Good to see you. Good morning, Betsy Weingarter. Pardon me, Debbie Webb, Nanny Goat. Oh, nice to see you this morning, Debbie Webb. Kathy Fromm, good to see you. It is a beautiful morning. It is Monday. We got a long week planned for you. Tonight, derailed. Yeah, I may just put that over on my side tonight. We'll see. I know that MG is traveling, so we might have to cancel. We'll see if he's still up and about or he's moving about. If he's traveling, he may not be able to. So we'll just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and we'll see how things go. Hooray, hooray, hooray! But let's get on with the craziness tonight. This morning, I should say, it has become pretty clear. It's been becoming pretty clear how things are going, because the AP is really stepping it up. Really stepping it up pretty bad. North Dakota voters may end most property taxes. Government programs could face huge cuts. What is this supposed to mean? Well, let's see what they're talking about. Bismarck, North Dakota. North Dakota voters this fall could largely end property taxes by approving a ballot measure that opponents say would drastically slash a variety of state services, but supporters argue would provide long-sought relief the state can afford. If passed, the constitutional initiative would eliminate property tax based on assessed value and require a Republican-controlled legislature to replace the lost revenue. A top legislative panel estimated that the cost would be $3.15 billion every 2 years, a huge number for a state that passed a $6.1 billion two-year general fund budget in 2023. Opponents wonder what government services initiatives would be cut to cover the replacement revenue. It would be absolute chaos for the legislature and for the appropriations process, something we've never done before, said a longtime state representative. Mike Nath, a Republican on the House budget writing panel, will be walking blind, that's for sure, as far as how to go about doing this. Money for Medicaid, expansion, hospitals, nursing homes, education programs could all be on the chopping block. Money for infrastructure projects would also be a risk. Republican House Appropriations Committee Chairman Don Vigessa, or something said, the legislature also may have to cut state agencies' budgets and employees. You mean like make government smaller again? But why would they be telling you this story? Measure leader Rick Becker countered that it wasn't practical to identify funding sources in the initiative, but the state has plenty of money to fill any gaps. He said the legislature could use earnings from the state's $11 billion oil tax savings, as well as millions of dollars, he said, go to corporate welfare for private corporations and special interest groups. The state also has better than forecasting revenues coming in, he said. We are such a rich state per capita, we can actually make this conversion and be able to afford it without increasing taxes and without cutting services. Said Becker, a former Republican state representative. More than 100 organizations encompassing agriculture, education, energy, healthcare, and other groups formed a Keep It Local coalition to oppose the measure. Why would they want to oppose the measure? Well, because this coalition would be the people that would be cut. They would lose their job. The wasteful spending would go away. Imagine how that works. Good morning, Elka. Good morning, Patrick. Good to see you. Similar measure failed handily in 2012. Oban says he expects a closer vote margin due to more frustration and political changes in North Dakota since 2012, but added he is confident voters will defeat the measure. Well, why would you want to defeat a measure that lowers everything for you? Imagine not having to pay property taxes, or your property taxes being so low that it's not a problem. You know, one of the biggest purveyors of taxes, which I know because that's part of the work that we work with, is your government. Government takes those taxes. If they don't take the taxes, they take the property in lieu of those taxes until you're going to pay them. Imagine that goes away. That would put me out of damn work. The deal with that, Becker said local governments could tax properties in other ways because the measure abolishes only assessed value taxation on property. Becker has suggested cities could enact an infrastructure maintenance fee partly based on road frontage, giving local governments a means to raise revenue beyond what the state would replace. So you live in a smaller place, less road frontage. Live in a condo or townhome, less coverage. The legislature could increase income and sales taxes, come up with new or never before considered fees, or allow local governments to tax in different ways. So Vance said sales tax increases might help major cities such as Bismarck and Fargo, but wouldn't work for rural communities that don't have a sales tax base to pay for their schools and law enforcement moving forward. What do you mean they don't have a sales tax? Are you saying that they don't pay sales tax at all? Like none? No state? No federal state taxes? Really? I don't know if that's true. You're saying that rural communities don't pay sales tax. So whenever they purchase a vehicle or a piece of farming equipment, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a piece of farm equipment, look it up. They're damned expensive. They ain't cheap. That they don't pay any taxes for that? Me suspects that's wrong. But of course, property taxes make up about $45 million, or 1/3 of the city of Fargo's budget, and about 40% of the budget is dedicated to police and fire services. Major Tim Mahoney said North Dakota's largest city has nearly 200 police officers and 150 firefighters. It needs to offer competitive pay to retain employees and attract new hires. Or maybe they just want to get the hell out of the big cities, and they say, you know what? I don't have to pay property taxes. I still get to You know, I still get to use my jack boots. No tax on medical Mary Janes. Good morning, Fat Grandma. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Even cost of living are things that happen every year. In order to stay competitive, you have to have a fixed amount of money coming in. You can make up for that somewhere, and that's not easy to fix. Last year, the legislature passed a package of income tax cuts and property tax credits, estimated at $515 million. The state has a glowing financial picture, including strong oil and sales tax revenues. Oh, that's why. That's why they want to take the power away from the government to tax people nonstop. Well, that's pretty interesting that they would talk about removing them taxes nonstop, because it's been a big deal. You know, these taxes being charged on people. It's an insane amount of taxes being charged on people. But yet, people are so concerned with it. Why is it that people are concerned with the amount of taxes that they're paying? It's amazing to me that they miss out on things like this.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Oh, that's why they're talking about it.
We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
Well, though, people, how that works.
And America's just not going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Now,
it's feeling the love, Madison Square Gardens.
You guys are awesome. Honestly, this is like...
That is a crowd.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of positive energy that America is all about. I mean,
amazing, huh? Amazing. But the news didn't like that. The news didn't like that they had that big rally in Madison Square Garden. They were just like, no, that's bad. That's bad. We can't have that. We can't have this kind of thing. It's it really is aggravating, you know, to see that they get together, they have a nice conversation, but alas, that just doesn't work. It doesn't work for them. Well, because, you know, then you get people like Biden that say things like this. Biden calls out Musk over a published report that the Tesla CEO once worked in the U.S. illegally. Joe Biden slammed Elon Musk for hypocrisy on immigration. There's a difference, in case you haven't figured this out, Joe, between illegal immigration and legal immigration. After a published report, who published the report, that the Tesla CEO once worked illegally in the United States, the South African-born Musk denies the allegation. Oh, see, there it is. So Biden slams over fake news. That's a 33% tax increase, and Social Security income tax stays the same. Jen, how are the AI peeps? Look at that crowd. I know. The crowd is insane. Yeah, we're going to watch some of that today. Shh, don't tell YouTube. The wealthiest man in the world turned out to be an illegal worker here. No, I'm serious. He was supposed to be in the school when he came out of student visa. It wasn't in school. He was violating the law, and he's talking about these illegals coming into our way, Biden said while campaigning on Saturday in Pittsburgh at a union hall. The Washington Post reported that Musk worked. The Washington Post reported that Musk worked illegally in the country while on a student visa. The newspaper, citing company documents, former business associates, and court documents, said Musk arrived in Palo Alto, California in 1995 for a graduate program at the Stanford University, but never enrolled in courses, working instead on his startup. Musk wrote on X, replied to a video posted Biden's comments. I was, in fact, allowed to work in the U.S. Musk added, the Biden puppet is lying. Investors in Musk's company Zip2 were concerned about the possibility of their founder being deported, according to the report, and gave him a deadline for obtaining a work visa. The newspaper also cited a 2005 email from Musk to his Tesla co-founders acknowledging that he did not have authorization to be in the U.S. when he started Zip2. According to the account, the email was submitted as evidence in a now closed California defamation lawsuit that said that Musk has applied to Stanford so he could stay in the country legally. Musk is today the world's richest man. He has committed more than $70 million to help Donald Trump and other GOP candidates win on November 5th. No, that would be a lie. So what Musk did is he put up $70 million of his own money to get people to go out and vote. That's it. Not to vote one way or the other, but to get out and vote. He has been headlining events in the White House race's final stretch, often echoing Trump's dark rhetoric. Oh, that's where the dark MAGA comes from. Against immigration. It's not dark rhetoric against immigration. It is talking about illegal immigration, being in the country illegal. Trump has pledged to give Musk a role in his administration if he wins next month. There's no immediate response to message. Is left with X and Tesla seeking Musk's comment. Well, how about this? If you want to get his response, post something on Twitter and tag him in it. Go ahead, Washington Post. Why don't you go ahead and do that? I mean, that's the easiest way to find him. I could probably post something right now and Elon Musk might respond to it, might not. But hey, if I was as big as the New York Times, yeah, dark MAGA, oh, the horror, oh, the horror. I'm just imagining how horrible it is that people actually support a presidential candidate. How does that happen? How does that happen? How do people support such a horrible, horrible, horrible thing? Well, I mean, there's only one way to find out. There's got to be something that calls people to it. It could be more than just the dark MAGA and the MAGA and the horrible thing in the world and in the whole wide world. So what could it be that's driving people to join this whole dark MAGA movement?
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way. Weeping.
New accent, huh? Yeah. You wanna see the response to her and her nice little interview? Yeah, we've got that one for you too, right here.
Now, the other day, CNN asked if she had made any mistakes as vice president. Now, here's what she actually said, and I am quoting word for word. She said, in my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important.
In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question. Now, I have no idea what any of that means, and frankly, neither do any of you. None of us know what the hell she says. Now, she may not be able to name any of her mistakes, but the American people sure can.
Damn. Damn. Good morning, Betsy. Good morning. Good morning, Jim. Nice to see you. Oh, man. Camel toe were an action figure. She'd have so many variations. Well, shoot, you could wrap it up like a pretzel. Remember the old G.I. Joes? You could turn their legs all kinds of ways. Yeah, that would be... until that rubber band broke in the middle, then that just doesn't work anymore. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. That's so bad. That's so bad. I should just stop. I should just stop. Oh my gosh. No, I can't. I can't. There's just too much. There's too much. Too much, people. Just too much. I can't imagine. Can't imagine that people really don't see it. But hey, there you go. Georgia's opposition plan protest against governing parties declared election victory. No. Really? Let's think about this. What they actually said. Georgia's opposition plans protest against governing parties declared election victory. Georgia's opposition plans protest. Georgia's opposition plans protest against governing parties declared election victory. What does this mean? Well, let's see what they're actually saying. She seems to be looking at like it looks like maybe a ball sack or something like that. She's looking up here just like, what is this hairy thing that's squatting upon my chin? What? I don't understand. Don't know. And I don't know. I've never heard of this place, but it's in Tbilisi. Tbilisi. I've never heard of this place. Opposition supporters in Georgia's plan to hold protests in country's capital on Monday against official results of a weak parliamentary election in which the governing party was declared victorious amid voting irregularities and allegations of Russian meddling. Georgian President Salom. Oh, this is in Georgia. Like, I was going to say in Georgia? Yeah, we're talking about another country. Not the state of Georgia. They're gearing us up, aren't they? After a week of parliamentary election, Georgia's President Salome something or other said Sunday she did not recognize the official results and that the country had fallen victim to a Russian special operation aimed at pulling it back into Moscow orbit and derailing its plan to join the EU. Lady Z, a fierce critic of the governing party, used Georgians to rally on the main street of the capital. So this place in this Tbilisi or on Monday night protest when she called it total falsification, a total stealing of your votes, raised the prospect of more political turmoil in the South Caucasus nation. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said on social media that the Georgian people embrace democracy. Okay, and urged Georgia's political peoples to respect the rule of law, repeal legislation that undermines the fundamental freedoms, address deficiencies in the electoral process, and move Georgia towards its European Atlantic future. So, is the Secretary of State in charge of other countries? I'm just curious. Is that his job to be ambassador? Sending up prayers for you, JW? Yeah, absolutely. Night owls rise. It's insane. Yeah, I'm waiting on that. Trump wins and they say it's invalid. Yeah. That's what we're expecting. The General Election Commission said Sunday that the governing Georgia Dream Party received 54.8 of the Saturday's votes and almost all ballots counted. The party established the misspelled words with a bunch of consonants that shouldn't be next to each other. A shadowy billionaire who made his fortune in Russia, has become increasingly authoritarian over the past year, adopting laws similar to those used by the Kremlin to crack down on freedom of the speeches. But I don't know. Do they have a freedom of speech? I'm just curious. I wonder if that's part of their constitution, because they're a constitutional republic like we are. The EU suspended Georgia's membership application process indefinitely because of a Russian-style foreign influence law passed in June. Many Georgians viewed Saturday's vote as a pivotal referendum on the opportunity to join the EU. Oh, please, we want to join the EU so you can screw us over like you did everybody else. The election campaign, a nation of 3.7 million people. Really? 3.7 million people in a country. I mean, geez, we have more people than that just living in Atlanta, which borders Russia, was marked by a bitter fight for votes and allegations of a smear campaign. European electoral observers said the election took place in a divisive environment marked by intimidation, instances of vote buying, double voting, and physical violence. I'm telling you, this is what they're prepping you guys for. Just watch out. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. Because they're calling for shenanigans to happen here in Georgia. Keep quiet, just chill. Nothing's happened, nothing to see here. No, just keep on walking. During the campaign, Georgia Dream uses anti-Western and hostile rhetoric, promoting Russian misinformation, manipulations, conspiracy theories, said Antonio Lopez Isuriti White. You have too many freaking names. The head of the European Parliament monitoring delegation. I don't know. But trust the EU about as far as I can throw them. Those are some fat cats, I'm just saying. The election observers said instances of intimidation and electoral violations were particularly noticeable in rural areas. Really? Georgian Dream scored its highest share of the vote, almost 90% in the Javahakati region of southern Georgia. Well, it's always those southerners in Georgia that cause problems. In the capital, it received no more than 44% in any district. Prime Minister Irikaliki Sakaraka, the member of the Georgian Dream on Sunday, described his party's success as impressive and obvious, and that any attempts to talk about election manipulation are doomed to failure. Does this sound familiar? God, it sounds so familiar. Prime Minister... Initial figures suggested voter turnout was the highest since Georgian Dream was first elected in 2012. The party has vowed to continue to push towards EU accession, but also reset ties with Georgia's former imperial master, Russia. In 2008, Georgia fought and lost a brief war with Russia, which then recognized the independence of two breakaway Georgian regions and beefed up its military presence there. The president of the European Council, Charles Michel, called on Georgian officials to swiftly, transparently, and independently investigate the electoral irregularities and urged the government's party to demonstrate its firm commitment to the EU. We need your money. Hungary's Viktor Orban was the first foreign leader to congratulate Georgian Dream and will be the first to visit Georgia and meet the Prime Minister during a trip to Tbilisi on Monday and Tuesday. There you go. Aren't they special there in Georgia? We love Georgia. The state, that is. Yes. That's right. That's right. Praying for your moms. We appreciate that. Appreciate praying for the moms. I have a close family friend who's doing well after a third reoccurrence. Prayers work. But if that wasn't enough, it's more Russia. Russia forces thwarted attempt cross-border assault from Ukraine, officials say. Why does this look like some sort of space trip here? Just saying. Red light, green light. I don't know. In Ukraine, Russian forces thwarted an attempt at another cross-border incursion by Ukraine into southwestern Russia. Local official reported Sunday, months after Kyiv staged a bold assault on its nuclear-armed enemy that Moscow is still struggling. Oh, they're still struggling to halt. Okay, gotcha. An armed group sought Sunday to breach the border between Ukraine and Russia's Bryansk region. Its governor, Alexander Bogomans, I guess, I don't know. He's a Bogoman. And that was beaten back. Oh, they were beaten back. Bogomans did not clarify whether Ukrainian soldiers carried out the alleged attack, but claimed on Sunday evening that the situation was stable and under control. There was no immediate acknowledgement or response from the Ukrainian officials. Yeah, they don't like talking about whenever they get their ass whooped. That's for damn sure. There was no immediate knowledge or response from them Ukrainian officials. The region's Kursk province, where Ukraine launched a surprise push on August 6th that rattled the Kremlin. Oh, it rattled us so much, and constituted the largest attack on Russia since World War II. Hundreds of Russian prisoners, hundreds, not one, not two, but at least more than one, because there were hundreds, were blindfolded and ferried away in trucks in the opening moments of the lightning advance. The Ukraine's battle-hardened units. Oh, those battle-hardened units. We've seen those. Those look like a bunch of fat boys. I'm just saying, they look a little chunky under the chin. Units swiftly pressed on across hundreds of square kilometers of territories. Why did you have to put that in there? No one cares about kilometers. We're in the U.S., okay? Responsibility for previous incursions into Russia's Belgorod or Baransky, something like that. I don't know. It sounds like a beer is what it sounds like. Has been claimed by two murky groups, the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Freedom of Russia Legion. Russian officials and state media have sought to downplay the significance of Kiev's thunderous run into Kursk. Really? Yeah. Oh, we're having to downplay because we're so scared. Yeah, Russia's pretty damn big. Just saying, they got a lot of manly men. But the country forces have so far been unable to dislodge those troops, sort of like a thorn in their side. Western officials have speculated that Moscow may send troops from North Korea. What do? We send in the Asians. Why not? To bolster effect its effort in doing so, stoking the almost 3-year war and bringing geopolitical consequences as far away as the Indo-Pacific region. Ooh, I really just don't see them bringing in Koreans to go fight in a war. That just makes no sense to me. But hey, okay. You keep talking the cat that makes no sense. Millions of Russians, and they're gonna hire a bunch of Koreans. They're probably hungry, don't like the cold, don't want to be there. Russian lawmakers Thursday ratified a pact with Pyongyang envisioning mutual military assistance, a move that comes as U.S. confirmed the deployment of 3,000 North Korean troops to Russia. You confirmed 3,000 North Korean troops to Russia? Sweetheart, that's not very many. I'm serious. All right. The reason why I say that's not very many, and I will show you. Battalion has between 300 and 1,200 soldiers. It's made up of 4 to 7 companies. A battalion is the smallest union to have a staff of officers who are in charge of operations, intelligence, personnel, logistics. Lieutenant colonel usually commands a battalion. This is U.S. But battalions usually have up to about 1,000. That's usually where it is. So they basically sent 2 battalions. That's it. That's small. It's pretty damn small. Yeah. Because they probably sent a unit into that area, which was about 300 soldiers to attack Russia. Interesting. But North Korean units were detected Wednesday in Kursk, according to Ukraine's main intelligence directorate. Wait, you trust Ukraine's directorate? I think this is just a play for some more money. Adam says, Adam Coy, a police officer here in Ohio, murder trial resumes today. Interesting. I pray that everyone gets out and votes. This election is so very, very important. Yes, please do get out and vote. Make sure that you've placed a vote for your candidate of choice and stick by it, because these people do not control how you run your day-to-day operations. The people they put in place might, but nothing is going to change until there is a change. Moscow warns West against approving long-range strikes against Russia. Yeah, they warn on that. Civilian deaths reported in Kherson. War inside strange drone strikes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, enough. Enough of the Russia. Enough of the Russia. Enough of the Russia. You know why? You know why you've got people like Vance that are doing so well, helping out with Trump in his propaganda machine. But if not, you're dumb. Yeah, go vote, but not if you're dumb.
Thank you. So let me ask you, obviously, Trump's former chief of staff, General John Kelly, was alarmed, he says, by what he heard when Trump said he wanted to use the National Guard or the Pentagon to go after the enemy within, Americans with whom he disagrees, including the Pelosi's, Adam Schiff.
That's not what he said.
And then he gave an interview. He said that Trump, quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, that he is, quote, certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. You've called him a disgruntled former employee. But why shouldn't Americans out there listen to somebody who worked closely with Trump, worked with him longer than you've worked with him, retired four-star Marine general, served his country honorably, who is conservative, who says he agrees with Trump on most policies, but is worried about this aspect of Trump?
So let me just say two things in response. So first of all, a lot of what John Kelly, pretty much all of what John Kelly accuses Donald Trump of saying, there were other people in the room, Mike Pence's former chief of staff, for example, who've explicitly said Donald Trump never said those things, right? So one, on
Mike
the
Pence, the
specific
guy
comments,
who's not going to support Trump because
Mike Pence's former chief of staff said that Donald Trump didn't say those things, right? So that's number one. Number two, I actually think there's an interesting conversation here to have, Jake, which is why does John Kelly not support Donald Trump? It's about policy. It's actually not about personality.
he says he agrees with Trump on most policy.
No.
He agrees with Trump on most policy. He disagrees with Trump on how Trump views his role and his and the fascism and the authoritarianism.
I don't buy that, Jake. I don't buy that, because if you actually look at John Kelly, at folks like Liz Cheney, the fundamental disagreement they have with Donald Trump is, even though they say that they're conservative in the sense that they want America to get involved in a ton of ridiculous military conflicts. They want America to police the world, and Donald Trump wasn't.
John Kelly lost a son in Afghanistan. Why are you saying that he, like, I've never heard John Kelly say whether he supports Iraq or Afghanistan.
And I honor his son's sacrifice, and I honor his family's sacrifice. That doesn't mean he's not wrong about policy.
What specifically are you talking about? What has he said that
is your argument that a person who lost a son in Afghanistan can't be wrong about public policy?
I'm asking
then
you.
Why bring that up? Let's talk about public policy, because I've never criticized his service or his son's service.
I brought it up because you're acting as if he is pro-war, and I've never heard him say whether or not he supported the war in Afghanistan or the war in Iraq. He was a general carrying out orders.
Because I know John Kelly's worldview, and I know the people who have attacked Donald Trump the most vociferously on foreign policy. They'll say, well, he's a dictator, when what they really mean is they won't listen. Donald Trump wouldn't listen to the leadership of the military when they wanted him to start ridiculous conflicts. That is a consistent theme. And I think that there's a big, big thing going on in American politics. It's a very interesting theme in American foreign policy, where a lot of former members of the Pentagon bureaucracy, a lot of old neoconservatives, they have a fundamental difference with Donald Trump on the question of peace and war. I believe Donald Trump is the candidate of peace. I think the record supports that. But the reason these guys go after him so vociferously, I don't think that it's about his personality, Jake. I think that it's about they don't like that Donald Trump said no when a lot of them wanted to start a ridiculous war.
Well, you're ascribing worldviews, I think, based on gut. I can't really tell where you're coming from on it. There's no evidence.
Based on people that I've talked to in the Trump administration.
Sure, John Bolton.
What John Kelly wanted to do, John Bolton, Liz Cheney. These people have a consistent.
John Kelly was at the Department of Homeland Security, and then he was chief of staff. He was not weighing in. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
So let me.
They just still don't get it. They still are not getting it. Like, I don't understand. Yes, he is going to drain the swamp. Yeah, the Cheney family gets richer off of every war. That is exactly true. There's no lies detected there, JW. That is pretty common. Good to see, JW. I'm glad you're doing well. I know, and notice how the host wouldn't let him talk. Of course they wouldn't let him talk, because whenever you call them out on their bullshit, they just like, no, no, no. It's like, hey, you're sitting here doing an interview with me, and why are you not getting it? Why are you not getting it? It is that time. It is that time. It is time for me to go grab some coffee. I suggest you do the same. We're going to do a quick little break here. Time for the coffee to warm you up, to warm up the soul, to get your eyes awake, get them moving, get your buns up, get yourself some coffee or some water or whatever it is that you happen to be drinking this morning. Hopefully it's not alcohol unless you're just retired or close to retirement or whatever it is might be doing. But here you go. Grab some coffee. Short break.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to effing see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Whoa, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Otters in the surf, hummingbirds in the sky. Rambo honks the horn and spits in Shizzy's eye. Oh my! Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the wave. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the waves. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having a effing blast. So here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too. Well, here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too.
Oh man, you guys, I came up with something yesterday. I was working on it before the stream yesterday. See if you guys like this. It's I'm gonna probably put this out for Halloween. Just let me know what you think. See how this one works for you. Here we go.
The moon drips are red, the shadows stretching in the midnight air. There's a scent of death. You wander in with a nervous heart, but I've waited here to tear you apart. When the night goes cold, your pulse slows minds tonight, bound in darkness, lost from light. Turn back, the end is here. A scream no one will hear. Closer, my dear, come take my hand. In blood-bound love, you'll understand. If you sink and go, an endless night, we're doomed to go. In the vampire's kiss, there is no escape. Feel my flames as your heartbeat fades. In shadows deep, I'll claim your soul and bind you to the darkness hole. The night follows every sigh, whispers lost as you comply. My breath is cold against your skin, a deadly game, a creeping sin. You walk pulse, betrays the fear you hide, but I'll take you to the other side. A faint last gasp, a softened plea with every beat you give to me. Crimson lips and endless night, forever cursed, forever right. Moving slow, the silence grows where shadows dance, your heartbeat flows. Come taste the night, come taste my bite. In endless dark, we'll take our flight. Back to black, no day returns as passion fades and hunger burns. In the vampire's kiss, there's no reprieve. You'll feel the death as your heartbeat fades. In shadows deep, I'll claim your soul and bind you to the darkness hole. Lying full of every star, forever lost in dark despair. Let the darkness fill your
More
veins,
cowbell.
crave my touch and feel the pain. One taste and you're mine
As
tonight.
always.
Lost and endless night. We'll drift away into shadows there to stay. One taste, one bite, your mind tonight, bound in darkness, lost from light. The final sigh is dawn draws near, but no sunrise will find you here. In
Yeah,
the
it's got a
vampire's
flavor.
kiss, you lose your light in crimson shadows burning bright. I drain your heart, you lose control, till nothing's left but a hollow soul. A silent fall, a dying ball, forever cursed, forever low. Attack the lies, our dance is done, but your curse, my love, no morning sun. Forever mine in endless gloom, no ever lost to a blood-red tomb. Final burst of wind tonight, out the shadows, out of sight. As dawn arrives, our dance is done, but your curse, my love, no morning sun.
I bet you can.
Endless gloom, a love lost to a blood-red tomb. The final breath slips in tonight, bound to shadows out of sight.
Fun. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's happened in 3 chats. I don't know what happened in 3 chats. But out with the lyrics. But without the lyrics, of course, without the lyrics. I mean, that's the fun part about it, is with AI, I can create a song in matter of minutes, and I don't have to think about it too much. It's nice and it's fun, and I definitely don't take away from musicians, as you can tell, because I like playing music, but I don't have that much time to sit down and write an entire song. I would spend my day, because I get too caught up in the weeds of actually working on the music, which is bad. Of course you were right. Yeah. Any music you hear, that's how I do it. There's only like 27 likes and 50 in chat. Oh my gosh, there's 50 in chat. But hey, just remember this. Harris stays quiet on student loans as cancellation loses its political luster. Imagine that. Imagine the AP reporting on something new. At a campaign rally in April, President Joe Biden told a Wisconsin crowd that his latest life-changing plan for student loan cancellation, promising financial relief for more than 30 million Americans. But Camel Toe has steered clear of that issue at her political events since replacing Biden as a nominee for president. The vice president's platform mentioned it just twice, and with no specific plan, just about like everything else she does. As she courts moderate voters, Harris is focused on policies targeting Americans without a college degree. For far too long, our nation has encouraged only one path to success, a 4-year college degree, Harris said in September at Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Our nation needs to recognize the value of other paths. Sweetheart, where you been? Because we've been recognizing that. Oh, hell, since long before you were born. America admires ingenuity, growth, and doing something out of the norm, something that seems wild and crazy at the time, but all of a sudden does really well. Sort of like, Neuralink, or maybe making electric cars more popular than they've ever been. Interesting. In the span of just a few years, student loan cancellation has gone from pillar of the Democrat Party to political liability. That's why she's not talking about once seen as a surefire way to energize young voters. The issue has now become a bludgeon wielded by Republicans who say it heaps advantages on elites and comes at the expense of those who repaid their loans or did not attend college, which is true. I mean, you sit there and go, well, I get those student loans removed. Well, the best way, the cheapest way, the least expensive way to you, the taxpayer, to make sure that those loans are paid is not by taking it from everybody else and paying it. It would be pay for it your own damn self. It's a novel idea. Really, in the long run, it does you good. Yeah, I told Shizzy you needed a song. Yeah, you'll get a song. Still waiting for your song, but no hurry. You'll get one eventually. College did nothing for me. I don't know. It did something for you. College does a lot for a lot of people. But you also have to remember paying those loans back. Ooh, if you take, well, it depends on what country. In some countries, you don't take out loans. The issue came up just once since in September presidential debate when Republican Donald Trump hammered Harris, like she's been hammered before, and Biden for failing to deliver on their promise of widespread cancellation. The former president called it a total catastrophe that taunted young people. They didn't even get close to getting student loans. Biden's student loan forgiveness efforts have faced relentless roadblocks. I wonder why. Biden, who once questioned the legality of mass student loan forgiveness, campaigned on the issue after progressive senators like Bernie Sanders made it a mainstream idea. But as president, Biden has faced relentless challenges from Republicans and Democrats. For the roughly 42 million people with federal student loans, hoping of having them forgiven has turned into resignation and disillusionment because people don't want it. Biden's first plan to cancel up to $20,000 for millions of people was blocked by the Supreme Court last year. Interesting. A second narrower plan has been halted by a federal judge after Republican-led states sued. Why would they sue? Because it's a bad plan. The separate policy intended to lower loan payments for struggling borrowers has been paused by a judge, also after Republican-controlled states challenged it. Because that's how the law works. You don't win if you don't challenge. On Friday, the Biden administration moved ahead with yet another attempt at student loan cancellation. This one focused on Americans who face heavy financial burdens beyond their student loans. You mean like rising gas prices and food prices and out of control spending by the government and, foreign wars that we have no reason handling. This one focused on Americans who face heavy financial burdens beyond their student loans. Oh, but we have to do this 2 weeks before the November 5th election. The legal uncertainty has probably contributed to Harris' de-emphasis of that cancellation. There's also an issue her base is familiar with. There's not too much she can offer, ever, before we know what will happen in the courts. Yeah, she doesn't have much to offer at all. When Biden first pitched the broad cancellation, was something that hadn't been tried. Now it's a totally different landscape than it was in 2020 when it was a clean slate. Harris' silence also signals the political risk quite a bit in a tight election, which is not tight at all. Any new promise of loan cancellation would energize Republicans who have made it a rallying cry. Like illegal immigration, like making our economy better. It's become a battle cry for Republicans that are asking for change. And all I suggest is hold your elected officials. College has proved to any employer you can do something for 4 years. And that's true for most degrees. That you'll actually stick with it. That you actually do the work. Practical experience comes in very handy in these situations. It takes me back to that book that used to run the rounds of different places. I think, what was it called? Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And in that book, it explained these guys that end up becoming a mechanic, for example, and they're just really good at what they do, but they go back to college not because they need to learn more, but they just need to have that degree to continue on. People respect that degree, and maybe they end up studying something else. Maybe they're tired of getting their hands dirty and decide to learn something else. You never know how it's going to be, but that's what college should be for. Is they call it higher learning, not just a continuation of high school and politics. It's a promise they have heard before. Harris' campaign has realized this is not necessarily a winning political issue. Go figure. The student loan agenda is in tatters and hasn't really helped them win any votes whatsoever. And it's the same way. And I had this discussion with my wife last night where I explained to her that, the Harris campaign has been very much buying into spending money on TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers that really don't have any say in politics whatsoever. And she goes, "Oh well, so is the RNC." Is okay, sure, but that's not what I was talking about. Let me finish, my dear love. The reason that they're doing it is because they're trying to reach those first-time voters. I'm just trying to think of any paid influencers for Donald Trump. If you think about it, how many do you know of? How many can you count? Or they just make money in the first place and then they just happen to be talking politics. Whereas those on the other side are being paid to come into the DNC and spread that information around. Oh, spread it so thick. It's like juicy, like cream filled something or other. You don't know what the cream is, but it doesn't look right. It looks a little chunky. That's what those TikTok media influencers are. And I explained to my wife, as she was getting a little more angry, I explained to her that they're not reaching the crowd that they want to reach, because these influencers, most of their millions of followers, are already people that were going to be voting for those people in the first place. And the ones that are not of voting age usually are like 14, 15-year-old guys. They're just going, boobs. They don't even know what they think about politics. They're just told that some hot chick likes this particular candidate, so they tend to follow them. And they've got millions of followers, but if you look at who those followers are, what their demographic is, it's non-eligible for voting. It's weird how that works. And they're wondering why their media blitzes aren't working. Maybe because they're only speaking to their audience. That's about all that it is. It's a good way of blowing money. Make it seem like there's more people there. You see, I know of no paid influencers for Trump. Well, I'm sure that there are, but I don't know if it's the DNC that's paying them. I'm sure they pay them to speak or give speeches. If I'm not mistaken, like Sevick already makes money off of that kind of stuff, but he's been talking about that for quite some time. I mean, I don't know. I don't really pay any attention. Every moderate American appears skeptical of student loan forgiveness. A June poll from University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy, the Associated Press Center for Public Affairs Research, found that 3 in 10 U.S. adults said they approve of Biden's work on student debt and wasn't much better amongst those repaying the loan. Slightly more than half of Democrats said that they support the president's work, while 18% of independents said the same, like nobody really cares. It's a non-issue. It's always been a non-issue. If you look at the Democrat platform, that has always been about the abortions and about all the things that nobody cares about. That has always been their issue. It's more about hate Trump. I mean, I pulled this up before, and I think I still have it around here somewhere. Pretty sure that I do. That the outlook on the American people is completely different. than what they claim it is. I would just want to see if I have it here. Because I'm pretty sure that I do. Let me see where was it? It was one particular thing that they showed what it was that, there it is. Yeah, this right here. This is the Republican platform. Free enterprise, secure borders, honest election, real journalism, ethical judiciary, civil rights, moral standards, personal liberty. What is the Democrat platform? Hate Trump. I mean, that pretty much sums up the Democrat Party. Anything that Trump says that he's for, they're against. Democrat, nope, no free enterprise. We don't like that. Secure borders, nope. Trump's idea, we hate that until it becomes politically expedient. Oh, we're so for the closed borders. Real journalism, nope. We don't like that. We can't have that. Ethical judiciary. Well, what is ethical? Maybe we just need to put more Supreme Court justices in place. Civil rights. Oh, no. We got rid of those. There's a thing that we have that's called diversity, equity, and inclusion. That goes completely against civil rights. That is everything against civil rights. Whenever people start talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, that removes civil rights. Because diversity, equity, inclusion is only about certain groups of people. Civil rights is for everybody. It does not regard race, color, religion, doesn't regard sexes, it doesn't regard anything. It's for all human beings, would be civil rights. Diversity, equity, inclusion are for only certain people to make you sure that you're against other certain people. Moral standards. You notice they didn't say anything about Christianity. They just said moral standards. A set of standards that everybody should have. Moral standards. Don't kill each other. It's a moral standard. Personal liberty. Well, that sort of covers everything else too, because personal liberty is what is so important in this day and age, and something that I think we're missing out quite a bit of. Personal liberty has sort of fallen by the wayside. Liberty has to be fought for on a regular basis. It has to be coddled, held tightly, held closely. Very, very much have to be secure with being able to say that we're secure. People are missing that. It's gone away. The idea that we have a country that gets really, or people that get really upset whenever a joke is told. But that's the kind of party that we have. I mean, think about this. We talk about secure borders. Imagine a president that had something to say like this. Think about this.
Would you allow these cities to ignore the federal law regarding the reporting of illegal immigrants and, in fact, provide sanctuary to these immigrants?
The reason the cities ignore the federal law is the fact that there is no funding at the federal level to provide for the kind of enforcement at the federal level you need. Pick up the New York Times today. There's a city not far across the river from my state that imposed similar sanctions. And what they found out is, as a consequence of that, their city went in the dumps, in the dumpster. Stores started closing. Everything started to happen. And they changed the policy. Part of the problem is you have to have a federal government that can enforce laws. This administration has been fundamentally derelict in not funding any of the requirements that are needed even to enforce the existing law.
So, Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Okay. Would you?
Big change in policy. Big change in his policy, huh? That was in 2007. That was in 2007. Oh, you had Wi-Fi glitch. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to see that, Lisa. That really sucks. But hey, here we have this.
There are over 1,500 of them that the judge insanely, incredulously said, Virginia, you must put these people back on the voting rolls. People who told us themselves check the box. We are not citizens of the United States and therefore not eligible to vote. And the judge said, no, you're going to put those people back on. This is just incredulous to us. And by the way, these people prove with immigration documents they are not citizens, and yet we're told to put them back. You know, there was a time when I was not a citizen of these great United States. I had a green card. I was still a Jamaican citizen, but I applied for citizenship, and thank you very much. I was given that citizenship, and now I am able to vote. So I totally understand how this system works. It would have been unbelievable. Wait, it would have been illegal for me to vote. That's what this is about, and that's why Governor Youngkin has rightly made sure to immediately ask for an injunction against this judge. And if what we have to do is to go all the way to the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, he has said he is going to do that. We must have elections that are free, fair, integrity. That's what this is about. There is no other issue here. You know, we're just following the Constitution.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid that we should do that. The Constitution says if you are an illegal person, well, if you are not eligible to vote because you're not a citizen, then you're not eligible to vote. I'm trying to find the words to make it any simpler than that. And apparently that's controversial. You just cannot make this stuff up. And so we, through Governor Youngkin, is immediately seeking relief from what this federal judge has said. And if we have to, we're going to the United States Supreme Court. And that's why we're saying, folks, there's so many of you who say that you're not interested in politics. Politics is interested in you. You've got to go vote. We've got to make sure all of us just get out there, vote, vote, vote.
Not going for one particular side or the other, huh? Isn't that amazing? There was no one side or the other. Not one side or the other. But yet, we're told not to listen to that. Don't listen to anything that anyone says. Yeah, we're not supposed to be paying attention to what's happening on the other side of the aisle. We're not supposed to be listening to that. Allies hope a Trump win will change the system for mortgages. Some warn it will make them pricier. Try to vote in Mexico without your voter ID. Time for Republicans to import voters. Don't put a stop to it immediately. Yeah. Republicans would put a stop to it immediately too. Any American citizen would put a stop to doing something that illegal. You should. That's the goal. Allies hope a Trump win changes the system for mortgages. Some warn it will make them pricier. And if you're living in one of these neighborhoods like this, just imagine. Just imagine this. This is in the middle of nowhere. This is a suburb. This is a small, confined area. You've got all this beautiful land around you, and they've cleared all this land out just to slam a whole bunch of houses on the ground. These houses right here look to be a 2-story, probably over 2,000 or 3,000 square feet on a postage stamp size piece of property. What? This is a neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere. Hey, nothing wrong with that. And it says a housing development in Middlesex, Pennsylvania is shown March 29th, 2024. And how many people actually live there, can afford to live in these buildings that just look like they're made of twigs and sticks and small hopes and dreams? If Donald Trump wins the election, Republicans hopes he will fulfill a long-standing GOP goal of privatizing the mortgage giants, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which have been under government control since the Great Recession. What was the Great Recession, you say? Well, those houses are crap. Yes, they are crap. They're not very, they're enough to keep a roof over your head, but all it takes is one good wind and it knocks them down. Sort of like the, well, Three little piggies. But Democrats and some economists warn that this is the time of high mortgage rates, doing so will make buying a home even more expensive. Not true. Not true. If you can't afford a home, one should not be provided for you. You should work to make it affordable. If you want to make it affordable, more product makes it more affordable. Whenever the market is flooded with homes, the prices decrease drastically. Whenever houses are built because people need homes, prices will drop. Doesn't matter what the mortgage rates are. The reason you have high mortgage rates is because those banks do not like to lose money. People are taking more and more money out of the system. They're holding on to that cash. Why are they holding on to the cash? Well, because they have to feed themselves. Why do they have to feed themselves? Why would it be so expensive to feed themselves? Well, let's see. We wiped out the oil. Everyone wants to go green. If you want to go green, these are the results. These are the consequences that you pay for going green. I'm trying to think of how many trucks actually move by wind. Now, I know that here, what was it, about 3 years ago, they started promoting this thing, which was really interesting. It was just mind-boggling. It was this new invention that this millennial had noticed, that they were starting to take ships, and they were using a new technology. They were getting wind-powered ships, and they thought that was such a wonderful idea. Like, why hasn't anybody thought of this before? I joke not. That was the news headline. The news headline was that they started making wind-powered ships. It's interesting that nobody has ever thought of using a wind-powered ship. I'll have to pull it up. You doubt me. I'm dead serious. Imagine this was part of the European Commission. It's a new wind-powered cargo ship that set sail. The Physis Ocean has set sail to test an EU-funded wind wings technology that will bring cutting-edge wind propulsion to commercial shipping for the first time. Development of the wind wings fixed whale system at the center of the EU support Czech project coordinated by University of Vance in Finland. The project brought together 17 partners specialized in different fields by harnessing the synergies between innovative energy technologies, operational systems, propulsion, and drag reduction. Czech has successfully pioneered this groundbreaking technology. It's amazing. Nobody's ever thought of wind-powered ships before. Ever. It's interesting. The installation of the wings took place at the Costco shipyard in China. Physis Ocean is now on her maiden voyage to Brazil, not only making waves, but also making news across the world with coverage on various outlets, including the BBC, saving fuel to save carbon. It's amazing that nobody has thought of ever using wind-powered ships before. Oh my God. This is great. This is great new breaking information. My God. Like a novel idea. Who would have ever thought of it? Maybe. I have a really great idea using wind power. I think you should make your sails bigger and like put a main mast, and I guarantee you can really make that ship get some speed up if you put a keel on it that goes nice and deep. That keel like lines up, so that way, novel idea. Turn the sails just slightly where it catches the wind and uses drag and pushes that thing, just at a quick rate. I bet you can get up to like 13 knots. That's pretty fast for a cargo ship, isn't it? Oh my God. Are they Vikings too? I guess so. New technology using wind to power ships. I joke not. This is the thing that they find out for you. You just had no idea. You had no idea that you could use wind to power a ship. Why is it that we haven't thought of this before? Why haven't we thought of this before? Back to this story. Republicans contend the Federal Housing Agency has been overseeing the two firms for far too long, stymieing the competition in the housing finance market while putting taxpayers at risk should another bailout be necessary. Wait, why would they ever think that another bailout would be necessary? There could never be any possible way that we would do that, giving $25,000 to first-time home buyers. That would never happen again. There's no way using taxpayer-funded money to promote people that can't afford to live in a home. They would never do that again. They would never think of doing that again. Did you forget? I guess so. President Donald Trump sought to free the two companies from government control when he was in office, but Joe Biden's victory in 2020 prevented that from happening. Democrats fear ending the conservatorship would cause mortgage prices to jump, since Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would need to raise fees to make it for the increased risk that they would face without government support. Yeah, it's amazing what happens whenever you trim those strings, whenever you cut those strings. The two firms guaranteed roughly half of the $12 trillion U.S. home loan market are the bedrock of the U.S. economy. No, that would be incorrect. That would be incorrect. Bailout by votes. Yes. Yeah, that's all that it is. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have been the largest purveyors of government control over your pocketbook since 2008. Because of the Republicans and the Democrats agreeing that these banks are too big to fail. Yeah, they didn't want the banks failing. No, they should have failed. They should have failed, and they should have brought every bit of that vitriol that they have towards the people that want to end their reign. They should bring all that vitriol on the lawmakers that were talking about diversity, equity, inclusion back in 2000s. Because that's where it was really kicking off. That diversity, equity, inclusion that was telling you had to give poor people a chance to make bad decisions. There's a thing called subprime loans. Why did they make the subprime loans? Because you were told that you weren't being inclusive enough. That's why they were making these subprime loans. That's what was bringing the cost of things down, is you have to bring the cost of things down. So hard to understand. How could this happen? Because the government, the titty, went dry. It's a key call for the conservatorship to win. Trump has sought to distance himself from the 920-page document, which was drafted by longtime allies of former officials of the administration. What? I'm sorry, this went from U.S. home loan market, the U.S. economy, and then it jumps to Project 2025. Huh? Project 2025 has nothing to do with Trump. That's all Democrat. If you want to look at what Project 2025 is, because nobody cares. 920-page document. And of course, here they go again with the same rhetoric. Here's your Donald Trump's Project 2025. This is an ad by Camel Toe. See, she keeps saying this. She keeps saying this Project 2025 as if she's going to make it come to pass. Trump has said, nope, want to have nothing to do with it. Parrott told the Associated Press he was surprised to see his analysis resurface nearly a decade later, but he stands behind privatization would cause a pretty significant spike in the cost of buying a home for most Americans. No, it wouldn't. Making those companies fail would have lowered the prices for most Americans. No government bailout. You lose on a bad investment. That was a bad investment. They should have went under. Those banks should have went under. Those mortgage loaners should have lost their ass for making bad loans. Because if they would have failed, if those mortgages would have failed, people would have been able to pick up those mortgages pennies on the dollar. Weird how that would have worked. You know, imagine those banks had failed. Like, gone under. There's tens of millions of assets that they have that they could have liquidated for pennies on the dollar to make things right. What would have happened then to somebody living in that, say, $300,000 home that they couldn't afford the mortgage? That mortgage would have dropped down to about half, if not 3/4 of what they were paying for their mortgage. It would have dropped down drastically. Then guess what? Guess what? They wouldn't have owed as much money. They would have owned that property outright because that bank would have failed. Imagine how the housing market, because it started booming, the cost of houses was going up. It was going up at such a drastic rate that you couldn't get into a house for damn near anything. And whenever it crashed, everything went to shit. There was, you could pick up that same house for one third the price of what it was initially. Whenever that went to crap, which meant that you couldn't sell your home for anything. You just spent $200,000 on a home that was worth $50,000. Now, if the banks would have failed, you would have been able to purchase that house for $50,000. You would have been able to just say, I'll default on that mortgage, see you bye, and then repurchase the house at a lower interest rate. Yep, $350,000 I got for $98,000. Exactly. Everybody was jumping on the bandwagon. We enjoyed the benefit very much. That's because people saved up. They waited. They just let it fall. They let it falter. And, you know, as much as my wife, she doesn't understand this. Your housing market crash was caused by the policies that were put into place. Bad ideas. I cook everything that they grow. That's nice. But economist Mark Calbriaba, who headed the FHFA during Trump's presidency, those fears are unfounded, and the federal government has what he considers a statutory mandate to return the companies to private ownership. No, I say take all the money that they owe the American taxpayers. How's that? Take every bit of money that they owe the American taxpayers, the millions and billions and billions of dollars that bailed them out needs to be paid back to the American taxpayers. Trillions. Actually, if it's over $12 trillion a year, imagine putting that back into our economy. That $12 trillion a year since 2008. Let's see, 2008, 9, 10. So almost, 20 years now? It's 14 years. So if we take 14 times, well, let's do a quick calculation of let's see, 14 times 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's million. That's trillion. Equals. That would be that would be more than a trillion. $196 trillion. $196 trillion could come back into the U.S. economy. I say that if the housing market would have failed, we would have saved ourselves $196 trillion. That's enough to feed the world over several years in that amount of time, because we bailed out a shitty company. 2 shitty companies. Calabria said Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are much more financially healthy now, and it's completely doable. No, they should be paying that money back to the American taxpayers. I don't think there should be any concerns that suddenly mortgages will become more or less expensive. Wrong. That's a lie. That is a lie. I think that it will become more expensive, especially whenever you have Camel Toe's little plan, her plan, is to raise taxes on the American taxpayers. Trump hasn't said whether he wants to revisit ending the conservatorship, but in 2021, he laminated to the Republican Rand Paul with his privatization effort had failed. My administration was denied the time it needed to fix this problem, he wrote to the Kentucky senator. The Trump campaign declined to comment Tuesday on whether Trump still wants to undo the conservatorship. Parrott said the key question is the privatization of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac would have a guarantee, either explicit or implicit, that the government would step in and rescue them if they had failed. Never again should we allow that to happen. Never again. How the Trump administration would handle that issue would dictate whether the privatization is somewhat disruptive or dramatically disruptive. Before they were taken over in 2008, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac were private companies, but still enjoyed implicit government guarantee, one that bailed them out after the collapse of the housing market and the wave of mortgage defaults. The companies long ago paid back their $187 billion bailouts. They had given the government tens of billions more in dividends, but the bailouts enraged the Republicans, and many are loath to reinstitute such guarantee, arguing that the government should not be spending billions of dollars in taxpayer. No, I want the billions of dollars plus interest. That's what we want back, and it's not billions, it's trillions. Yeah, it was $187 billion in bailouts, but they made trillions off of it. Sorry, I was saying, that's 100. That's higher. That's 196. Whatever is higher than a trillion. I don't know. My math doesn't go that high. I can count to 10. 1, 2, 10. See? Without guarantee, though, Parrott said there's enormous risk of the market that will not accept Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's privatization, throwing the housing finance market in chaos and preventing all those with pristine credit from being able to secure a mortgage. Something Parrott called a worst-case scenario. He dismissed those fears and said there's no need for a federal guarantee. Other huge firms the government bailed out in the 2008 crash included Citibank, AIG, General Motors, and they remain public companies and haven't needed a conservatorship, but they still suck as companies. The same set of law around Citibank exists for Fannie Mae and Freddie. Why are we treating them differently? They were implied guarantees behind the auto companies who bailed out GM are people who are against the conservatorship ending, also suggesting that government take over GM. Well, it is government motors. With interest rates widely expected to continue to fall next year, Parrott believes those leading the Treasury Department under the new Trump president would realize the market reality that privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will cause mortgage rates to bounce right back up. No, they wouldn't. For that reason, he's skeptical that privatization will happen, even if the failure to go through with the plan would anger Trump allies who hold large shares in the two mortgage giants and stand to get huge windfall should they be privatized. Oh, huge windfall, you think? It would be pretty hard to pill to swallow as president that you're going to have to tell homeowners that you're going to take steps that would crank the mortgage rate back up, but it wouldn't. Make them pay all the trillions of dollars back that they made off the backs of the hardworking people of the United States. We're not talking about the loan that was given to them, that loan that kept them afloat. We're talking about loan with interest. That's how businesses operate. Loan with interest. Pay back the trillions of dollars that you made off of this, off of the backs of hardworking people. Congratulations, Stormy. Still win. Early. A lot of people have voted early. Sorry, I'm on a soapbox today, and I shouldn't be, but I think I'm a little frustrated whenever I see this kind of stuff coming up from MSNBC. And you know what I want to talk about. This is the kind of shit that MSNBC reported. There's a breaking news. Trump's Madison Square Garden rally comes 85 years after this.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally, a rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. when a Jewish protester rushed the stage. The Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct.
That is what they had to say. Are you effing kidding me? Oh no, this is what NBC was reporting.
Backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
No, that's what they reported. Are they going to update that report? I mean, imagine this. It's a fun fact. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, and Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump have all held political rallies at Madison Square Gardens. Fun fact. They ain't going to update that kind of information. No. That would be too much for them to update that.
We are 9 days away from the most important election of my lifetime. Stakes have never been higher, and the choice has never been clearer. President Trump and I have been friends for 25 years. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. He is the most resilient, hardest working human being that I've ever met in my life. I know he's a great leader. This is not my opinion, not my hope. He's proven he can build the strongest economy in American history. He's proven he can secure our borders and keep our nation safe. He's proven to be the strong leader allies and adversaries alike must respect. He's proven he loves this country so much, he's literally put his life on the line for it. What is the other candidate proven? She can get your party's nomination without even facing voters. What else? What else can she offer the American people other than vague promises and no plan? She talks a lot about the need for change and her hope for the future. Hope and change. Does that sound familiar? She can use the old Obama playbook, but she's not Obama, and she is no agent of change. She is the sitting vice president of the United States right now. What she hopes is voters will focus on the future because she doesn't want us looking at the last 4 years to see what we really need to change. We need change from sky-high inflation. According to Yahoo Finance, the cost of groceries is up over 25% during the Biden-Harris administration. Food is unaffordable for most Americans. That has to change. We need change from wide-open borders. BBC News reports illegal immigration reached record levels since they took office, with an estimated 10 million border crossings. That's a 300% increase compared to the Trump administration, and that's not including the unknown millions who cross undetected. That is the record of the other candidate, the border czar of the Biden administration. We need change from weak foreign policy. According to the Institute for Economics and Peace, a nonpartisan think tank, there are more active armed conflicts now than any time since World War II. Weakness from the Biden-Harris administration has invited aggression and conflicts around the globe. When President Trump was our commander-in-chief, the world was a much more peaceful place. J.D. Vance touched on this, but I want to hit it again. Vice President Harris was asked recently by the objective journalists of The View if there's anything she would have done differently than Biden over the past 4 years. And again, her answer was, there is not a thing that comes to mind. So, don't take my word for it, take hers. She will not change a thing. Hope is nice, but hope is not a plan. Change is needed, but change won't come from the status quo. And she is the status quo. If you want real change, you'll vote for proven leadership. If you want to return to economic prosperity, border security, and global stability, you'll vote for the one candidate who's proven he can deliver all of that. My fellow Americans, if you want what's best for your family and this country, you're going to vote Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Thank you, New York. Have a good night.
Amazing, huh? Amazing. You're getting 8-ounce pub burgers on sale for 99 cents each. This week, pub burgers were on sale for 99 cents, but only for the 4-ounce pub burgers. This doubling our household's expense. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. It is indeed scary stuff. It is indeed scary stuff. Well, let's don't believe me. Here you go. Here's some more.
I was in the building at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, and I come back to look at the mainstream media and see that obviously, surprise, surprise, they are calling it a grouping full of Nazis. They're calling people racist and sexist and homophobes and all of the other things that they have called Trump supporters over the past decade, which is why they wonder why nobody listens to them anymore. What I will tell you as somebody that was actually in the building is it was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. There were so many people of different colors, different genders, different sexual orientations, all of that stuff. And what we had in common was we had in common our love for America. We had in common our support for Donald Trump. And we had in common the fact that we wanted to come together and take this country back from the people that have destroyed it for the past 4 years. And to see something like that, something that was so good, something that was so pure, something that was just so America, be completely attempted to be destroyed and dismantled by the mainstream media is shocking to me, but it's not surprising because that is what they do. This is the reason why nobody trusts them. This is the reason why everybody hates them. This is the reason why their ratings are going down. This is the reason why nobody listens to them. This is the reason that they're becoming less and less relevant every single moment. That what I experienced today in Madison Square Garden as a person that was in this rally was a movement of support, a movement of kindness, a movement of genuine love, respect, admiration, and appreciation for America, something of which the mainstream media knows nothing about. So I was in the
Yeah. See, this is the problem. It is scary. That's why Donald Trump has no support for it. Why he's shown that he doesn't like it at all. He sat down and started talking with people about it, and he was just like, "This is the most radical crap I've ever heard, and it should be dismissed, and nobody should be listening to this." That's what Donald Trump said about it. But it seems like the Democrats are very much into pushing this idea that people support that. I don't know who would support anything like that. Definitely not Trump. Trump doesn't support it, but it's common that's being told that it is one of those things that they tend to fail at again. They tend to fail at that again because nobody agrees with that. Nobody agrees with it. But that's okay. We get used to that. We get used to people saying that Project 2025 is is this thing that Trump supports. But you're only hearing that from one side saying that because they've been saying multiple times, don't support it, don't agree with it, don't like it, could care less. It was the same thing as what was it, the Lincoln Project or something like that they had that wanted to promote. They were saying that they promoted Donald Trump, and everybody that was in that camp was just like, we don't support the Lincoln Project. That's a bunch of radical shit that nobody agrees with. But that's what happens whenever you only get your news from one source. Well, see, there you go. You believe he will do it. I've seen some of the Republican-based channels earlier this year. Really? Were they actually Republican channels, or were they fake news? I guess you would have to do that research yourself and figure that out for yourself. I mean, it's fine. Believe however you want to believe, but whenever you believe a lie, you're just going to continue to believe a lie. You put your blinders on. You live in this beautiful world where you think, oh, everything's going to be fine because Donald Trump is so evil and so bad. No wars under Donald Trump. He was actually ending wars, going to 4 years of absolute devastation of our economy. But hey, you vote how you feel that's going to work for you. It's okay. It's okay that if you want to promote the killing of children, endless wars that don't stop, you want to keep that war machine cranking, you want to tell people that they're others, you just keep voting the way that you vote. Just remember the consequences. You also have to accept the consequences of your decisions, which apparently you couldn't accept those consequences for the past 4 years because that would have been just way too much for you to handle, to say no, everything was wonderful. Everything is wonderful. We've just tanked our economy. Your gas and food prices have gone up because of a horrible administration that has been run into the fucking ground. But hey, you keep believing what you want to believe. You have a good day, Stormy Wind. Have a wonderful day. Yes, she does. But darn, war is very profitable for so few. Yes. There's a reason why Camel Toe is up $77 million just this year. There's a reason why she's become a millionaire. She wants to fight to keep that power. She needs to fight to keep that power. But don't believe me. Believe the Pennsylvania price plan. 2023 grocery inflation rate has gone up 8.2% year over year. Now you think about that, it's just like 2023. This is in 2023, went up 8%, 8.2% year over year. So last year and the year before that and the year before that, it went up 8.2%. And then again, another 8.2%. And then another 8.2%. It just keeps going up. But hey, believe what you want to believe. Vote for who you want to vote for. No promoting. Actually, that is the promotion of killing children. Yeah. But that's okay. You're welcome to have that opinion. That is an absolute way of keeping people from procreating. Hey, that's absolutely fine. If you're up for that, you go ahead and do it. That is your choice. And guess what? The government can't make that choice for you anymore. Now you can take that up with your own senator, your own congressman. You can deal with that in your own state. Isn't that a beautiful thing that you have that freedom to make that decision about whether you want to delete children or not? It's absolutely up to you. You just keep it up. You're waiting for gas to come back down to at least $2 a gallon? No, sweetheart, I am waiting for the gas to come down to about 87 cents a gallon. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not holding my breath, but that's about where it should be. You have to remember that most of your gas prices and most of the money that you're paying for gas has to do with taxes that are levied on you by your local, city, and state governments. That's where most of your taxes come from. Yeah, no one's stopping anyone from going to doctors. So that's okay. She'll understand at some point in time, but there's a possibility that she may be just barren anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Not my problem. like I said, it's women's problem. If they want to destroy a whole human race, have at it. If going to say 50 cents is where it might go to, no, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. You're going to say 50 cents is where it might go if Trump gets back in? Nah, I very much doubt it. You're right back. You have a good day. I'll see you soon. It happens. And it happens amongst the finest of us. But of course, it's people that want to say things that are not true. And it's pretty common that you'll see this, especially promoted through the AP. It says Donald Trump hosted a rally featuring crude and racist insults at New York's Madison Square Garden Sunday, turning what his campaign has dubbed as the event where he could deliver his closing message to an illustration of what turns off his critics. With over a week just before Election Day, speakers labeled Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. Okay. Let's get down to the brass tacks. What exactly was said? What exactly was said? Well, we have that. We have what exactly was said at that point. Oh, we can't show that.
Well, here, all right, very good. I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well.
A comedian.
Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime. And she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't. I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took it right in the ear. Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived the headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason. Right? There's just it heals fast. Nobody cares. It's the best place to get shot. He went down, saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit.
Yep.
Stands up and says the most American words I've ever heard in my life. No. Before that, there was one more. Let me get my shoes. Fearless. Perhaps still with an active shooter. He's talking like a guy that just had the best one-night stand of his life. Right? Like, where's my shoes at? I gotta get the hell out of here. Let me get my shoes. And then the fight. What he did was so cool that Biden got COVID. Oh yeah. Go back, look at the timeline of everything again. 3 days after that. That means that Biden, he didn't get that from hanging out with sick people. He was in a sterile room in the White House, watching blood running down Trump's face as he pumps his fist. Biden's like, oh, fuck. It's true. Trump survived an assassination attempt and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago.
Sorry, that's too funny.
Another great Austin, Texas resident, Elon Musk, will be speaking here later today. Unbelievable. Genius. You guys saw him shoot that rocket into outer space, the largest aircraft ever, fires it off into space, and then parallel parks it back to planet Earth. Meanwhile, Kamala supporters can't parallel park their Toyota Priuses properly. Sorry, I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my attention. Except for when it comes to stock trading, then I listen to Nancy Pelosi.
That's right.
But censorship is amongst us, people. It's a very, very, very big deal. And I'm just here to say that you guys are for the right candidate. Tell your friends. Let's close it out. And let's make speech free again. Make America healthy again. Let's beat the team from California. The team from New York should beat the team from California, not only in this election, but in the World Series of Baseball, America's sport. I love you, New York. God bless New York. God bless America. Let's make it great again. I love.
Yeah, that was his speech. Yes, I recognize his voice. I can't remember what the guy's name is. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a comedian. Oh yeah. Well, Diane G, the left is really pissed off about that too. Yeah. Because while Camel Toad said she wasn't going to go on Joe Rogan's podcast because she can't handle three hours of a conversation without pre-rehearsed speech, without having somebody whispering things in her pretty little ears to tell her what to say, because she can't handle more than 3 hours without repeating the same thing over and over again, because that just would be too much for her. If the teleprompter goes down, she doesn't know what to say. She couldn't handle 3 hours of Joe Rogan, and And Joe Rogan is no real big fan of Trump anyway. I mean, he is somewhat, but he's more liberal than you would know. But it goes to show you that the left really doesn't understand jokes. How do you know that the left doesn't understand jokes? Because it's just too much for them to handle. Way too much for the left to handle a joke. That it just tears them up inside. It makes them wonder, why do they have such a hard time? Why do they have such a hard time understanding jokes? Because of this.
These are terrifying.
Absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
They couldn't handle that. Why is a vice presidential candidate so interested in watching a comedian? Because they get triggered by it. Because they get triggered by it. They can't handle a joke. Chronic victimhood does not have time to laugh. They're too busy harvesting reasons to cry about. Happy birthday, Stacy. Happy birthday. Yep, Cali sucks. I know. I live there. Yeah, I lived there too a long time ago. But you want to see their response to his joke. This is their response to his joke.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super.
Hinchcliffe, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, did you just say that? Yeah. Because it's a joke. Do you not understand comedy? That's always the problem with folks on the left. They don't understand comedy. They have such a hard time with it. They really just don't get it. Because comedy goes away whenever you have to sit down and explain comedy. It takes the fun away from it. It's like that one person has to walk in there and they have to say, "Oh my God, that's so racist, homophobic, transphobic," or whatever phobia that they might possibly have, whenever it's just funny. But yeah, that's too much for the left to handle. They can't handle the comedy. They can't handle the laugh. They can't handle laughing at themselves. But that's okay. Because you're still loved. You're still cared about. But that right there is what drives them up the damn wall. They have such a hard time noticing that people are laughing at you, with you, and having a great time at it because it's comedy. A joke is not a joke if it's not funny. And political jokes are always funny. How many times has best part of is making fun of everyone? Yes. And if you're taken offense by it, if you're taken offense by the joke, then all you have to do is walk away. Ignore it. Don't listen to the joke. Don't repeat the joke. Keep the joke in your own little warm hovel of a basket, along with those dried up eggs. You can just sit there and keep those nice and warm and cozy, and they'll keep you and your kitty cats warm at night. That anger, that hatred, because you have no ability to laugh or find humor in any situation, that's okay. It's okay. Keep that all bundled up nice and tight, because nobody wants to see it. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. And he says, I think it's called Puerto Rico. Yeah. It's a joke. But of course, people can't understand that because it's immediately criticized by Harris campaign. No, it was immediately criticized by AOC online because she just couldn't handle the joke. But other speakers also made incendiary comments. Trump's childhood friend David Rem referred to Harris as the Antichrist and the devil. Yeah, okay. Businessman Grant Cardone told the crowd that Harris and her pimp handlers will destroy our country. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But see, if you don't like the joke, you can always just walk away. The marquee event reflected the former president's tone throughout his third White House campaign, though he refrained from doing so on Sunday. Trump often tears into Harris in offensive and personal terms, questioning in recent weeks whether her mental stability and intelligence, as well as calling her lazy. What? Well, she has been lazy. And it's amazing to me that somebody would associate that, because if you're using that as a racist trope, or seeing that it's a racist trope, maybe you're the one that thinks that, because certainly he doesn't. The event, a surreal spectacle that included the former former professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, TV psychologist Dr. Phil, former news host Tucker Carlson, politicians including House Speaker Mike Johnson, Representatives Donald Bryan, Elise Stefanik, and an artist who painted a picture of Trump hugging the Empire State Building. That was all before Trump was to take the stage, running more than 2 hours late. Well, it wasn't really 2 hours late. They were having a good time. No, she's not smart enough to be that aggressive. Actually, I think she's rather smart. There's what was it that I was reading about not too long ago? And it was something that George Bush did that really would drive the left absolutely nuts. He would say nuclear, he'd mispronounce it. Now, this is a college educated man. You would think, why would he do such a thing? Because, well, other people do. And it's a good way of making a connection. I think that's possibly what she's doing. But she's also become so unpopular amongst majority of Americans that she was never voted in except to be vice president. She didn't win any election except to be vice president. She didn't primary like everybody else had against Joe Biden. Those people pretty much dropped out pretty quick until Joe Biden just completely flailed during a debate and looked completely ridiculous. Couldn't get his thoughts together, sort of like me in the morning. Nuclear. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, a short period of time later, they throw camel toe in there. Never primaried. Do you think if she would have primaried that she would have even gotten any more than she did the first time she primaried, which was less than 1%? She dropped out before the Iowa caucus. She was gone. She got destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard. But yeah, people forget about that. And all before Trump was to take the stage. This election is a choice between whether we'll have 4 more years of gross incompetence or failure, whether we'll begin the greatest years in the history of our country. Could be. Trump announced a new tax credit for caregivers. Trump on Sunday added a new proposal to his list of tax cuts aiming at winning over older adults, blue-collar workers, which already includes vows to end taxes on Social Security benefits, tips, and overtime pay. Wow, isn't that amazing? Of course, this comes after Harris has talked about the sandwich generation of adults caring for aging parents while raising their children at the same time. Harris has a proposal federal funding. Federal funding should not be done like that. Trump otherwise repeated familiar lines about foreign policy and immigration. That's not what he said. He said, we need to remove illegals from this country. Pretty simple. People tend to forget that. People tend to forget that he said we need to remove illegals from our country. They have no place. They are a drain on our society. No lies detected there. Trump's remarks came upon an hour of some of the crowd began trickling out. About an hour, some of the crowd began trickling out. Elon Musk, who spoke earlier, introduced Melania Trump, was a prominent part of Trump's closing campaign message. The former president called Musk a genius and special. He is some sort of special. Musk nodded to Trump's recent plan to allow him to lead government efficacy commission to audit the entire federal government. Several Musk businesses, including Tesla and SpaceX, have major government contracts or have relied on U.S. subsidies. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about what those subsidies are, most of those end up going away after a period of time. And yes, he does have those government subsidies. You'd be stupid not to take them. Not that he can't be successful on its own, but even Elon has said, no, you still have to have natural gas. These are toys. These electric cars, you would hope, are able to do it. The technology isn't there, though, to keep us running off of what they want to call the green energy deal. Goes away. Musk nodded to Trump's recent plan to allow him to lead that efficacy group. Your money's being wasted, and the Department of Government of Efficacy is going to fix that. That's exactly what Musk said. Make that go away. If we eliminate 90% of what we have of pork spending in government, oh my God, it would be amazing how efficiently our government could run. With Russian President Vladimir Putin, several of Musk's businesses have major government contracts relied on U.S. subsidies. Musk has faced criticism after reports that he spoke privately with Vladimir Putin, which he has every availability to do so. He's a businessman. Many of the speakers Sunday appeared on stage at the RNC convention. This time, the same speakers shouted and rallied more against Democrats. No, they just pointed out the flaws in Democrats' ideas and their thoughts. What does she know about sandwiches? None of her own, and her man makes the sandwiches at home, or the nanny does it when he's done with her. Yeah, you said it. Exactly. Trump also emphasized starting with the illegals that are criminals and traffickers. Pretty easy. Trump allies went after Democrats for bringing up that. Yeah. See, they're doing it again. See, this is what they do on a regular basis. Whenever all their arguments fail, they start saying, oh, you're racist, you're homophobic, you're you're phobic of some sort. That is their go-to, because that is the most vitriol reaction. To call someone a racist is really one of the most vitriol things you can do to somebody. I mean, and how can you prove someone's intent that's in their heart? By just calling them that. Yeah, that really works well. The New Yorker returns home. Trump has complicated a history with the place where he built his business and empire. Amazing that he went back to the same place that hates him so much. The former president smiled and swayed slightly, his wife standing next to him on the stage. Singing New York, New York. Who's going to hand out the sandwiches that Alice makes? If Kamala wants to stop price gouging, why not start with college tuition? That would be amazing. But no, they're getting money from that. That's where they're getting money. Like I said, keep your head on a swivel. This year is going to be a very interesting year with the tropes and the lies that will come out of the left. They will tell you that things like this happen to be true, and they're not. U.S. voters concerned about post-election violence and efforts to overturn the results. But you also have to remember this is a poll. Because most people know, or at least they should understand, I would respond to you, but Lauren, it appears to me that you need a platform. If you need a platform, the beauty of this is you can take your happy ass over somewhere else. You don't have to sit here and listen. I mean, it's sad but true. See, there's no debating here. I don't do debates. Why do I not do debates? Because this is my fucking channel. If you want to go debate it, go start your own channel and debate it. We're a dictatorship over here. Washington, American voters are approaching the presidential election with deep unease about what could follow, including the potential for political violence, attempts to overturn the election results, and broader implications for democracy. Except the problem is, I think illegals are already criminals. If you're here illegally, then you've already broke the law. So that's pretty straightforward as far as deporting someone that's here illegally. So you start with those, yes, the ones that are not here legally. If they want, they can take their happy ass back to Mexico. They can apply for asylum in the country where they first came to. I'm a huckleberry. Oh my God. Some people. The world's oldest democracy, nearly 4 years after former President Donald Trump's refusal to accept the 2020 election results, inspired a mob of his supporters to storm the U.S. Capitol. No. Actually, they went there for a different reason, but it goes to show you whenever they shut down the freedom of speech, because that's what happens. People will find out really quickly how fast they're right in their ability. This, if you remember, which most people don't because they were so far up, their own personal bullshit to really pay too much attention during 2020. They tend to forget this one very simple thing. You have the right to redress your government. You have the right to question those. That's your God-given right. That's not something that the government gives you. That's your ability to do it. With what they did for January 6th was a major violation against human rights. And it was also to strike fear in anybody that disagrees with their government or tries to redress their government. I wholeheartedly believe that. Do I think that people got out of hand? Oh, absolutely. Those people should have been arrested, should have been sent to jail. They should have spent time in jail for trespassing, for attacking somebody. It's unfortunate that it had to turn to that. And I think that those people, those rabble-rousers, should be arrested and thrown in jail. But a lot of people forget that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you. It's not about wanting you. I'm just happy to be here. And it's amazing to me that you feel the necessity to unsubscribe because you just don't like my point of view. But you also have to understand that this is my channel. And whether you like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter to me. Become a missionary or become an international volunteer. You can help them with what's not working in their country. Nah, I don't care what's happening or working in their country. That's amazing to me. I'm only concerned with what's happening in my country. I'm only concerned with what happens in my country. What other countries are doing, if it affects my country, then I might be worried about it. But this is all about me. Oh, yeah, no, but I'm with you, Celestial. I'm with you. People that want to help, become a missionary, become an international volunteer, they're absolutely welcome to do that. Turn the channel if you don't like what's on. Exactly. That's what I do. I turn the channel whenever I don't like what I'm hearing. It's really simple. About 4 in 1 registered voters say they're extremely or very concerned about violent attempts to overturn the results after the November election. A similar share is worried about the legal efforts to do so. And about 1 in 3 voters say they're extremely or very concerned about attempts by local or state election officials to stop the results from being finalized. Relatively few voters, about 1/3 or less, are not very or not at all concerned about any of that happening. Trump has continued to lie about fraud, costing him re-election 4 years ago. and is again forecasting that he can lose this time only if the election is rigged against him, a strategy he has deployed since his first run for office. His allies in the Republican National Committee, which he reshaped, have filed lawsuits about the country that are potentially prelude to post-election legal challenges should he lose. I thought after January 6, 2021, the GOP would have the sense to reject him as a candidate, said someone in California. Since they didn't, I think you just emboldened him to think that he can do it again, and they will stick with him. Just like Lou. Welcome different opinions, but I will argue back against your stance. Absolutely. The problem is people don't like it whenever you argue back against their stance. They go, oh, I gotta unsubscribe. This is my bully pulpit, damn it. You didn't realize that? Oh my gosh. Many voters think Trump will concede if he loses. Trump's wide-ranging attempts to reject the will of the voters and remain in power for his 2020 loss have led to concerns that he will again fail to concede should he lose to Vice President Camel Toe. But will she do the same? Will she concede if Trump dominates this? Do you think she'll concede? That should concern anybody. If your candidate doesn't concede, if it's very clear that they didn't win, do you think they'll concede? Or do you think they'll attempt a coup like they did just a few months ago? I wonder which it'll be. I wonder what it will be. I wonder when it'll be. Nearly 9 in 10 voters said the loser of the presidential election is obligated to concede. No, they don't have to concede jack. We've had that happen before multiple times. Not all people concede. Hillary didn't concede. Al Gore didn't concede. Only once they were forced to say, she means to recede. Maybe. Democrats and Republicans have widely divergent views on the matter. About 2/3 of Republican voters thinks Trump would, compared to only about 1 in 10 voters. But these are your polls. Your polls don't tell the truth. See, that's the problem. Too many people rely on polls, and they should just get off the stripper pole, because that's just not going to do them any good. And this is all just polls. They're saying that part of what divides voters on the view of American, but see, we're a constitutional republic, is the January 6th. No. As that wonderful little person Lauren noted, it's not that Democrats and independents disagree on what is it that Americans disagree on things. We'll just put it that way. Doesn't matter left or right. It is that left constantly misconstrues the disagreement. They have to change the what is the vocabulary of the disagreement. Because whenever someone, me, says they think it's wrong to delete children, then the left comes back with this crap about women's health care. Well, that's not what the conversation was about. Conversation was about deleting children. I think we can all agree that would be a bad thing to do. Not talking about women's health care. But that's the problem with the dividing line. And I think the AP misses out on that. The AP doesn't put into context the context of the discussion. Same way as my lovely unsubscriber made very clear that she didn't understand the concept that the disagreement isn't a disagreement. They're just trying to be facetious and have to find something to disagree with because they don't like a certain candidate. Instead of like bringing on the facts, they have to bring on a bunch of, oh, let's just beat around the bush like some like angry little child. I don't know. My wife does the same thing. I'm used to it by now. I just look at it and go, But I hope that it's understood that it's not about the political system being divisive. It's only divisive if you want it to be. I mean, you can agree that killing children would be bad, I would think. I mean, if you think that that's a good thing, then go ahead and, have your way with it. Just know that, 90% of the rest of the world doesn't believe that. 90% of the human population doesn't believe that you should be, deleting children. Weird how that works. I mean, you are sort of the outlier there if you're thinking that's okay. But hey, no judgment here. I mean, you want to chop off little boys and girls' parts, and hey, I guess that's your prerogative. Just make sure you keep your hands off my kids. I don't have any that I know of, but if I did have kids, I would tell you to keep your damn hands off of them. I wouldn't go reaching out and grabbing your kid. That'd be creepy and weird. But hey, you do what you want to do. Oh yeah, you missed the troll. Yeah, they already left. They came around because of the Hales, and they left because they couldn't handle the conversation. But it's okay. They didn't like me telling them they needed to go start their own channel if they wanted to be all bitchy. They didn't realize that this isn't a democracy on my channel. It's a dictatorship. That I run my channel how I want to, and I don't have anybody except for YouTube tell me how I'm going to run it. YouTube is the only one that has the purse strings to censor me. Feelings are experiencing pain this morning, but that's not going to make me leave. Yeah, I don't expect anybody to leave. We're just here to have fun. I mean, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. People get angry whenever you throw down things that they don't like. I'm used to it. I don't expect everyone to like what I do on this channel, but I do expect people to behave. Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem. People have not realized this. It's not a Hales only channel. Hales didn't make my channel. Hales helped promote my channel. Oh, Hales squishy. Oh, no, there's always room for good disagreement. There's always room for good disagreement. I have got no problem with being challenging my thoughts on things. But whenever you come on into a chat and you want to say things that are clearly not true because it's just your opinion of something that's true, you're going to get called out on it. And that's what people don't like. They don't like it whenever you say that I don't like somebody because of X, Y, or Z. And they say, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Okay, you don't like that person for whatever. Doesn't change how I feel about them. I mean, if you think that you're trying to change my mind about things, you forget that I'm an old fart. I'm pretty much set in my ways. It takes a lot to get me to change my mind. I guess one of the perfect examples after talking with Steve Gosney really made me think about the death penalty quite a bit, and how bad that could be. Did it change my whole outlook on it? No, but it gave me a differing opinion on it that was well put forward. Like I said, this is a place where you can come, you can hang out. It's not that you're not welcome. It's just if you want to come in here and say things that are not true and clearly not true and have been proven to be false, you will find out very quickly that you're going to get called out on it. And if you're going to come back and yell things that are absolutely proven to be not true, and it's not my job to go prove those things. It's your job to go figure out the truth. If you want to continue listening to MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, whatever TV station or whatever it is, whatever trope group that you want to pile onto, then go for it. But just know that coming here, I'm only going to say the shit that I believe. All hell's going to break loose. There you go. Exactly. We don't have to agree on everything, but always respectful if you want the same. And that was the problem. That was the problem. It's an old adage, I think, that we know that there's certain lines that you don't cross. Yeah, because you make me laugh in the mornings. Thank you forever. No, and I try to be funny. It's just over the past month, there's been a lot of people that have decided that they think they know how my channel should be run, and want to give this unfettered advice and tell me how wrong I am for running a successful channel. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. The Hales haven't told me how to run my channel. The Trump administration hasn't told me how to run my channel. The only people that tell me whenever I'm doing something wrong would be YouTube, and they're usually pretty damn vocal about it. YouTube is very vocal about whenever I do something wrong by demonetizing my channel. Demonetizing that particular thing that I happen to be talking about. It happens. It happens. That's the only overlord I have in this space is YouTube. I have to keep it clean and respectful. I mean, because if this person would have started saying that kind of crap to me in person, well, there would have been a different conversation, and it probably wouldn't have been as nice as I am here. But there's certain things that I try to keep it a little bit clean here. Try to, at least. But hey, with that, keeping it clean, we've got another beautiful evening coming up tonight. I'm going to be reaching out to the boys, and because I believe it's my turn to host tonight. So what I'm going to do is reach out to the boys and see if everybody's up for it. I know that MG was traveling last I spoke with him, so he may still be out and about. He's a traveler today. See how he's doing. Of course, I'll reach out to Volstorm and Expert and Valhalla waits and see if everybody's up for it. If they are, cool. We'll have a wonderful weekend or a wonderful Monday evening derailed stream. If we don't, I've got some good stuff for you. But that can always wait until Tuesday. Just know it's getting closer and closer. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You mean to say you have your own mind? If you wasn't funny, I'd just tell you to keep your day job. Oh, I do. Trust me, I will keep my day job constantly. There's no getting rid of that. My day job is how I make money. This is what I do for fun. I don't make enough money off of YouTube to support even the interwebs. That's how bad it is here. I'm funny looking is what it is. Enjoy and smile. Yeah, everybody have a wonderful day. I will see you guys on the flip side, and don't let this stuff get you down. Don't let the election get you down. Don't be worried because you have to remember this. Whoever is elected is not going to control you. They don't have that power over you unless you give it to them. Doesn't matter left or right. If whoever wins, and I think it was, I believe it was Brittany that said this. I got to meet her the other night. She's a pretty damn smart chick. She had a wonderful thing to say, and I think I want to leave you guys with it. I'm going to leave you guys with this thought right here. She's a lovely girl. She does mainly Twitter, and I think that you'll find her very interesting. This is Brittany.
It's 9 days. 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have voted in a new president of the United States, number 47. 9 days. I know everyone is stressed. I know everyone is worried, mad, they're on edge. I feel it. I see it, especially on X. I just want everyone to remember that regardless of what happens in the election, regardless of who wins, legitimate or illegitimately, you have to take care of you. Neither candidate is going to save you. Neither of them, and no politician, is going to save you. Period. That means if the person that you voted wins, don't just stop getting mad. Don't stop asking for accountability. Don't reserve that for just the other side. Bipartisan politics, in my opinion, has always been a lie, an incredibly intelligent ruse to put upon the population. Because the reality is, there is no left, there is no right. There's people who know what to do, and those who act a fool. That's it. There's people who do right, and those who do wrong. And they have a funny way of kind of poisoning people. So people who start off good can end up bad, and people who start off bad can end up good. I've seen it happen a million times. And that being the case, in such a capricious world, I ask of everybody to stick to the only solid thing you have other than God, and that is your integrity. Demand accountability, especially of the people you vote for. What else did you vote them for? Like, what else, if not to be accountable people? So for everything everyone's been bitching about for the past 4 years, keep bitching about it for the next 4 years. And see if either side actually answered your problem. Because if not, that's when you really need to concern yourself with what's going on in the world. Because then you're just voting against your own integrity. We don't need any of that. But I just want everyone to relax. The chips are going to fall where they may. It's just an election. We're going to be okay. Oh, P.S. Vote for Trump.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.